Welcome back to the Express at EBO Restaurant in Burnaby. Earlier we were enjoying a little chocolate magic with a truffle making demo, and later we're going to balance things out with one of their fresh and tasty new salads. But right now it's all about culture and history at Burnaby's Nikkei Museum.
Travel along with us on the Quality Assured Collision Road Trip as we explore the many marvelous attractions and activities of beautiful British Columbia.
In a calm, serene corner of Burnaby with its Japanese-style gardens and impressive building is the National Nikkei Museum and Heritage Centre.
We do promote history, of course, of Japanese Canadians through heritage, arts and culture, through programming and exhibitions that reconnect generations and also inspire new audiences of diverse cultures. So we're in the Learning Centre.
Nikkei Museum has a vast collection of archives relevant to Japanese Canadian history, and there's a permanent display to educate visitors about the Japanese internment during World War II.
We have a close-up of an internment house and a cross-section of a residence that would have been typical makeshift shack for a family.
The National Nikkei Museum and Heritage Centre is a multi-million-dollar facility built thanks to the generosity of the Japanese Canadian community, whose names are commemorated on the walls. Additional funding also came from the National Redress Foundation.
Redress is the formal apology the Canadian government gave to the people of Japanese Canadian heritage for the time during the 40s when they were interned or removed from the West Coast. So the federal government in 1988 provided some seed money that made it possible for the foundation to be laid for this centre, Nikkei Place.
There is also an art museum that features various shows throughout the year.
This exhibit is the 10th anniversary inaugural museum exhibit called Kizuna, Connecting Through Generations. We have 4 contemporary artists who teamed up with 4 elders of the community and also accessed the museum archives to create their work for the show.
The Nikkei Museum's work in preservation and education becomes even more crucial every year.
It's very important as the aging generation starts to pass because we lose their stories. You've seen the children running through the halls. It's wonderful to be able to have archives and stories preserved for their futures also.
I'm Kendall Harris in Burnaby for Shaw TV.
Entertaining and informative, the Quality Assured Collision Road Trip. Weekends on Shaw TV. Always something new and exciting.
On now at Nikkei Place is the Shiwasu Handmade Gift Show and Sale, and it runs to December 18th. Also on December 29th, they're holding their end-of-year celebration, and children are encouraged to go dressed in traditional kimono. Now, how's this for a tradition? Riding off in the sunset on a horse with your one true love? Well, here's one better for you. Riding a horse down the aisle.
Hi, I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Wedding Bells.
I just got engaged.
And I did not. We're on an adventure to plan the big day. Now, believe it or not, Sarah is a farm girl.
And for my wedding, I want to infuse some Western flair. So we headed to Back in the Saddle again.
Now, I'm completely allergic to horses, so Sarah's fiance stepped in for me.
I want to ride off into the sunset like they do in the cowboy movies.
We've done a medieval wedding, we've done East Indian weddings, we've done horse and carriage weddings. If you want to rent a horse, we'll make it work for you.
And I wanted to know if I could ride a horse in my wedding dress.
The wedding dresses are long enough, they just kind of bunch them up.
Just get right on?
Get on and go.
All right.
Cowboy up. And there he was, Sarah's knight in shining, well, in a polo shirt. I'm going to the car.
Giddy up. Here we go.
Could I put colored saddles on them to match my bridesmaids?
You can do whatever your little heart desires.
Yee-haw! Woo!
And that Darcy is forever a cowboy.
Too bad you're taken. I would have took you myself.
I love the idea of riding a horse off into the sunset, but one of my bridesmaids and my groom appears to be allergic to horses.
But I'm not allergic to dancing, and next we were headed to Gabby's Cabaret to learn the two-step. Would you say that the two-step is probably the most popular dance at weddings all over Canada?
Yes. Very definitely.
It can be quite romantic. It can be very polished and finished.
The two-step is what brought my fiance and I together, so it is a very good get-together dance.
I always say that two-stepping is like relationships. You want your men to be strong. If you want the two-step to work, one person has to lead and one person has to follow.
This is why I'm single.
Okay, Aubrey, it's time that we learn how to follow.
No interlocking fingers or death grips.
So how do I start her? How does she know when I'm going to start?
You just start. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick.
Excuse me.
If you look at each other's feet right away, you're going to mess up. So you want to make sure you have it on the back of his shoulder and cupped.
Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow.
Quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick.
Don't let her lead. If she gets pushing you around, you take over.
That's what my mother says too.
While Jody and Sarah were off to a slow start, I was learning how to follow.
And then Jody and I busted out some of our own moves.
Let's show them what we got. I think they deserve a hand.
It was obvious dancing had brought them together.
Now, if only I could find Aubrey a cowboy.
And a hypoallergenic horse.
For Shaw TV, we're the Wedding Bells.
If you want to bring more cowboy into your wedding, you can always wear cowboy hats and cowboy boots under the big white dress, of course, and serve up some traditional country fare like ribs and a big old barbecue. And sounds yummy, I know, but for me, I'm more excited about what we have up next. After the break,
it like almost dissolves on the tongue, but it's just apple cider.
Chef Daniel Craig's latest invention.
It just melts away on your tongue.
Oh my gosh, it's like dessert.
Recently, we've gotten precision so accurately that we can
BC's new star tracking technology.
One thing that astronomers do is we look at exact precise locations.
The Express. This is your local voice. Welcome back to the Express at EBO Restaurant in Burnaby. We're taking you into the kitchen to try one of their most popular new menu items. And I tell you, this is a salad like you've never seen before.
So I'm going to make a roasted beet and goat cheese salad. We've got some beautiful local beets. We've got some goat cheese from Salt Spring Island, some fresh apple, fresh herbs, pine nut granola, kosher salt. We're going to make a little mousse out of apple cider vinegar, and then I've got a vinaigrette of apple cider vinegar, cherry vinegar, and some olive oil, and some baby greens here. We do want a bed of salt. It takes about an hour and a half to roast the beets. It like almost dissolves on the tongue, but it's just apple cider. Like it just melts away on your tongue.
Oh my gosh, it's like dessert. Chef Daniel, this looks amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to try it, and most excited about the cloud of apple on the plate.
Excellent. It's got a really nice texture, actually.
And what inspired this new beet salad for the menu?
It's just a really classic pairing. We've added some other textural elements to it to enhance it. The mousse made of apples, and then you've got the crunchy fresh salad, and the warm goat cheese.
It's fantastic, and you really think I could make this at home?
Definitely.
How?
Easily.
How?
Well, you might not be able to make the jelly and the mousse at home, but I mean, if you get the goat cheese, you just warm it up in the oven, some fresh greens, some roasted beets, and you're good to go.
You know how I can make it at home? If I bring you home with me. You can make it.
Let's do it.
Or I'll just come back here. Fantastic. Cheers. There's so many cool things on this dish. One of my favorite parts, though, is definitely the apple cider cloud foam mousse. I sound like one of the judges for Top Chef, right? Anyway, so you know the roasted beetroot and goat cheese salad is part of the 3-course dine-out menu here at EBO that's coming up in January. As we mentioned earlier, it's also a star of their new menu. But right now on the Express, it's time to talk local stars in the astronomical world and find out about a new technique that's putting BC on the map.
Welcome to the HR MacMillan Space Centre and stars. Now, we have a show here called The Color of Fire, where I personally light a bunch of stuff on fire and really enjoy it. One of the things we're looking at we're looking at the actual color of fire and how that looks different to spectroscopy or to the spectrum. Now, a spectrum is a series of different lines that'll tell us whether it's maybe hydrogen or helium. Now, how those lines actually form is what we're going to talk about today. So I want you to look up, way up to Raminder, who's going to explain just how these spectral lines are actually formed. So give us a quick rundown here.
Okay, so I'm on this ladder here.
You are, definitely.
So you can imagine me as being an electron.
Okay.
And in my hand, I'm holding something called a photon.
Okay.
It's a bit of energy. So an electron is, in a gas. And if it wants to transit between, so if I want to get down, I'm going to have to release this energy, so I'll go. And I'm back down.
And that brings you down.
And I'm in ground state.
Right.
So that now, if you were to look at this gas, it would form a spectrum. So for example, in the hydrogen series, you'd see that red line.
Okay.
It's for me jumping from that level. But say if I want to get higher up, I can't just climb up. The electron cannot just climb up there.
Right. Do you need more of these?
Pass me a ball. Pass me a red ball because it's higher energy.
Here's a red one.
So I catch it, and immediately I'm boosted up here. And this is also where you might call WCB if I follow.
Right. Right.
Basically, if I want to get back down, I'm going to have to release this energy. So I release it, and I would immediately transit down, but I don't want to hurt myself.
It doesn't really look very immediate, but yeah, I guess you don't want to sort of kill yourself off the ladder. So it's the release and addition of this energy that actually causes these electrons to move back and forth up and down this scale.
Exactly, and the different colors we're seeing is the color, different light being emitted by those electrons.
Excellent.
So if you're looking at the hydrogen spectrum, you see the blue and the green and the red lines. They're from different rungs on this ladder. So one thing astronomers do is we look at exact precise locations of those lines.
Because astronomers, a bit of an anal bunch. They really need to know exactly where those lines are because it does tell you a lot of information.
Exactly. And recently we've gotten precision so accurately that we can tell if a star is moving by 1 meter per second in either direction towards us or away from us.
Wow.
And that technique was pioneered at University of Victoria and UBC.
Wow, so local stars in the astronomical world. Interesting, cool. So again, if you want to see this in action, come down and watch our show where I will light stuff on fire, hopefully not anybody in the audience. If you have a question for Astronomer, you can always tweet us at Ask an Astronomer and we'd be happy to answer it on air. For the Express, from the HR MacMillan Space Centre, I am Cam Cronin.
I'm Raminder Samra.
And there's more to light than you might think.
If you'd like to win a family pass to the HR MacMillan Space Centre, be the first correct emailer now. Express contest at shaw.ca to tell us where the star tracking technology was developed. And good luck to you. Right now it's all about stars on the local holiday event scene with the Express Spotlight. You can pick up your fresh produce at the Winter Farmers Market. The Vancouver Farmers Market is all about people who love fresh food at festive gatherings. Check out an authentic outdoor German Christmas market, which features rows of wooden huts offering handcrafted gifts and tasty treats. The Express will be there on Friday. Catch this holiday classic at the HR MacMillan Space Centre. The show displays twinkling stars and lights, beautiful West Coast imagery, complemented by traditional Christmas music. Also, you can learn to make truffles here at EBO Restaurant in Burnaby. You can sign up for one of the tasty tutorials on December 21st or January 11th. Now that's it for today's Express. I'm Johanna Ward, and on behalf of all of us on the show, thanks so much for watching.